friend, and welcome to the 10-Minute Mind Shift Podcast. I'm your host, Janet Cagle, certified life coach, business strategist, and lover of all things related to up-leveling my life and yours. My goal is to help you experience a mind shift that gets you one step closer to your goals, whatever they are. My goal is not to keep you wrapped up in self-help all day, just 10 minutes. And who doesn't have 10 minutes, right? Hey friend, welcome back to the podcast. I thought it would be fun to do an episode featuring the things that I've learned from Beth Harmon. Now, some of you might be asking yourself, who the heck is Beth Harmon? This was my 2020 Netflix binge, and I'm sure that it might have been a few of yours as well. The Queen's Gambit is a series that is set in the 1950s, and the main character is orphan Beth Harmon. So if you're looking for a good binge, I highly recommend this one. You might even want to watch it again after this episode to see if you have your own takeaway moments. Before I dive in, and on the heels of last week's episode, I thought it'd be nice to give you a quick Dutch update. So what I thought might be a few days out of the saddle has turned into a couple of weeks. But yesterday, we got back at it, and we had a really good first ride. So my confidence level is probably at an 8. So I'm happy about that. And I feel like we are going the right direction now. So that's kind of where we are on that. And I will keep you posted. I will admit it has not been without a few tears and even a little pity party now and then. And even my brain goes to, is this really worth it? But I just want you to know that if you have a calling on your heart, it is always worth it. All of these little detours are meant to teach us something that we didn't know and explore a new approach. They are not meant to derail you at all. Think about going on a road trip and all of a sudden you have to go around a construction project and you have to follow the detour signs. I don't know if you've ever had this happen to you, but I remember being a kid. And when that happened in the beginning, I remember mom and dad would be frustrated because it would take longer and they had it all planned. But in the end, they loved the detour. It was more scenic. And for sure, they never made it mean we shouldn't be going on the road trip. And for sure, they never thought about turning around and going back home just because of the detour. So remember that the next time you have a detour or hit a speed bump. All right, let's dive into episode number 52 and 5 things that I learned from Beth Harmon. Number 1, trust your intuition. Beth didn't have an explanation for every chess move. In fact, in the beginning, she didn't even know how she knew some of the things that she knew and why she didn't know other things. In the beginning, she didn't know what she did know and she didn't know what she did know. We all start out that way when we take on something new. Beth relied on her instinct, her inner knowing, her intuition. She trusted her gut. She started out using all of her intuition and then she developed the actual skill. In the beginning of creating any outcome, our instinct is all we have. We don't know how to create the result yet, and that's okay. And here's why. If we already knew, we would have already created it. So while you are learning the things that you need to learn, trust your intuition. Some people have asked me, what's the difference between your inner critic and your intuition? Here it is. Your inner critic can be a meanie pants. Your intuition is never mean. Your intuition shows you a different route from time to time, but it never denies you your result. How many times have you ever experienced something and then after the fact you thought, I had a feeling, but I didn't listen? Intuition speaks softly. It's an inner knowing. So slow down, get silent, listen hard, and seek her guidance. Number 2, don't be afraid to be all in and give it all you got. Beth was either playing chess or reading about playing chess. Beth was unapologetic about her obsession for chess, and when everyone else noticed that not only was she good, she was committed to always getting better, her tribe formed all around her and supported her and cheered for her and even watched out for her when she went through dark periods of her life. The people around her supported her obsession because they saw her commitment to it. So many times we wonder why people don't support us, and it's because we didn't support ourselves first with commitment. She didn't need anyone to support her. They just did because she was already all in on herself. So don't be afraid to go all in. Sometimes when we are in pursuit of our goal, we look at people around us and we wonder why they don't support our new healthy lifestyle or jump on board with the program to, support us. And here's what I want you to hear. You only need to support you. Not your husband, not your kids, not your coworkers, only you. Create the commitment to your goal with you and have your own back and support you, and then watch people rally around you when they see how committed you are. And here's something to think about. If you've had the habit of quitting on your own goals, why would others go all in to support you? They don't want to invest in a goal that only to have you quit on it again, right? So show them that this time is different. But know that you are the only support that you need right now, my friend. Number 3, don't worry about which way the crowd is going. Go your way. This is huge. Beth didn't try to fit in with all the girly clubs. She had her own dreams and desires, and it didn't matter what all the other girls at her age were doing and where they were going. She had a different path, and she stayed committed to going that way. We can get sidetracked with what others are doing and even get sucked into thinking that maybe we should be more like everyone else and just fit in. It's human nature. We are designed to be looking for our people, our tribe. We are designed to conform so we don't lose our tribe or get kicked out. But we do that at the expense of our own heart's desire. You can see a part in the movie where she is looking at the other girls and wondering what it might be like just for a moment. It looks like she might be aware of another part of her life that she is missing. But the ordinary of that life did not interest her. She was going for extraordinary. Really think about what could take your life from ordinary to extraordinary. Don't be afraid to give up Taco Tuesday and take up tennis lessons. Don't be afraid of losing your tribe and going all in on your goal. Your people will either come along or you will attract a new tribe. And the people that don't come along really weren't your people. All right, so number 4, you are the secret sauce, and any solution can be found by using your mind. Beth was convinced that her superpowers came from the pills she took, and she thought this so deeply, she took extraordinary measures to have the pills. There is a scene where she breaks into the pharmacy and several others where she takes some of her mother's. And in the end, she was able to play her game using her brain and standing in full belief that it was never the pills. She always had the access to that part of her brain. Using her mind and managing her mind helped her see that. So many of us look outside of ourselves for the answers to how we can have the life of our heart's desire. We try to achieve it from the action line first without first working on the mindset. We do things and buy things and buffer with things to avoid the uncomfortable feeling of growth. We do this in everyday life too. We don't want to feel left out, so we buffer with doing things that we don't really want to do. We don't want to feel bored or deprived, so we eat. We want to feel the dopamine hit of another purchase, so we overspend. We buffer with false pleasures. Nothing outside of you will make you feel self-worth or self-respect or self-love. That's all an inside job. You are the one with all of the power and ability to create those for you. In fact, it all starts with yourself, specifically the thoughts about yourself. Number 5, it's not just about the goal. It's about the woman that you become on the journey. Beth's chess journey begins and ends with her playing against an old man on a shabby chessboard. First against janitor, Mr. Scheibel, I think is his name, and in the basement of her orphanage. And later against these random Russian men in the park. In the final moments, as she stepped out of the cab and started walking, I like to think of this as the scene and as the moment that she finally meets the woman that she has become. After working so feverishly toward the big win, Beth can finally take a moment to herself, wandering slowly through a park and playing a casual game of chess that won't make or break her career. She did it. She evolved into a woman who could create the result. She met her future self on her journey, and in the final scene, she embodies her fully. So if you're looking for something to binge on, I highly recommend The Queen's Gambit. If you have watched it, it's definitely worth the second look and see if you don't find a few mind shifts of your own. All right, my friends, that's what I have for you, and now go have the best week ever. That's a wrap of the 10-Minute Mind Shift podcast. I hope that you were able to experience your own mind shift today. Listen, if you're ready to take this work to the next level, I highly recommend Life by Design Academy. It's my one-on-one coaching program that offers you a transformation at the speed of life.